I'm Laurie Perez here outside the Nike store that was hit in Watts.
Laurie Perez has been in the business of delivering news for close to 30 years. This multiple Emmy-nominated journalist currently is a reporter for KCAL News Los Angeles, where she's been for almost a decade.
This is the most recent stop, but I've been at stations all over the country, from the East Coast to the South to the Pacific Northwest. I've worked for the network, and now I'm back in local TV. I've been a news anchor. I've been a political talk show host. I've pretty much done it all.
Perez grew up in Connecticut, where there wasn't too many Chamorros residing, but culture was still very much present in the household. Both parents were born on Guam, her mom from Jigo and her dad from Hagåtña, and both graduated from George Washington High.
We grew up very much with a very strong sense of where my parents came, where our family comes from. Continuing the traditions, eating the food, and very proud of our heritage. It's always been just a central part of my life, I think. And we have many family members, not only here on the mainland, but back in Guam, and in near constant communication my whole life with all of them. So it's been very ingrained in me. We love to go to Guam. I was just there last in the summer of 2022. We went there for several weeks, and just loved it. I mean, that is, despite the fact that I was not born and raised there, Guam is to me my home.
Her interest in news came from her parents, who were big newspaper readers and watched the TV for the latest on current events.
I was really just intrigued by the news. I like to watch the news. I like to kind of peek over my parents' shoulders while they were reading the newspapers. I was really into it. Even as a little kid, there was a woman on the radio. Her name was Saida Bagan. And I used to kind of mimic her, saying, like, this is Saida Bagan on the scene somewhere, just from the backseat of my parents' car.
That memory, along with graduating from Northwestern University, Medill School of Journalism, and Tufts University, would serve as a foundation to a career in which she had covered many notable and heartbreaking stories. When asked if there was a story that really stuck out for her,
I have covered more mass shootings than I ever anticipated that I would. And I was on the East Coast at the time. Coincidentally, it was today that Sandy Hook, the shooting at Sandy Hook School happened. I was on the East Coast. I covered that story extensively. In fact, I think I was the first news anchor in the country to announce what had happened there, which was just heartbreaking. And since then, to have repeated that story in so many different locations, in different states, in different parts of the country, that has really had an impact on me, both professionally and personally, frankly. And it just always sticks with me. I mean, it never gets easier. They say that the more that you're in the news, the longer that you're in the news, that you kind of build up this armor to covering crime and covering difficult stories. But for me, that has never really happened, unfortunately, or fortunately.
and in a job where she's covering such stories, self-care is extremely important, but Perez admits she doesn't do enough of it. But to decompress, she takes walks by the beach and makes sure to connect with her family.
I really try to separate the two as much as I can, so that I do have some sort of release. I know at certain times I can get very embroiled in the news, and I've had to just literally say, okay, enough. Like, I can't watch any more news. I can't read anymore. I can't listen to any more. Like, I literally have to force myself to just do anything except that.
She is true to her word, though. She's pretty much done it all. Yes, even acting. When she first arrived in LA, Perez found that reporters in the area would do acting roles for movies and TV shows because they're always looking to cast reporters to help transition the storyline. One of her friends suggested that she audition.
I said, what the heck? Okay, I'll do it. And I mean, wouldn't you know, I've been in more television shows and movies than I can't even tell you. And every time it happens, I'm like, is this like for real? Is this really happening?
And she said it was that positivity and that sense of being hopeful that has helped her in her career and in her life.
I've always been positive and hopeful and confident in knowing that I can do this. Like I can do this, whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve, whether I'm trying to be a reporter, I'm trying to be an anchor, I'm trying to, take the next step, go to the next level and the next level. I've just been positive. I've had a positive spirit. And I think that that has helped to propel me because, um, I mean, sometimes people will say no, but someone, if you keep asking, someone's going to say yes, and someone is going to give you a chance. And I think that if you just keep going and just keep your head up, it will work out.
Jonagan Charfris, KM News.